You don't know me. Sometimes that's a good thing. You may have heard this story, or maybe you're about to hear it for the first time. Back in college, I sat down to take a final exam. The professor was very clear. You have exactly 1 hour. Along the way, he gave warning after warning about time running out. When time finally ran out, I was still sitting there taking the exam. He looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, but your exam is not going to count because you didn't turn it in on time." So I just sat there, kept working away, until finally I was done. And then I walked up to the front, stood in front of the professor to hand him my exam. And he looked at me and he was like I said, it doesn't count. You had to complete it within an hour. You didn't do it. So you're going to get a 0. And I just asked him point blank. I was like, don't you know who I am? And the professor looked at me. He's like, I don't care who you are. It doesn't count. I gave you warnings. I told you how it works. It doesn't count. And I said, but don't you know who I am? And he said, again, I don't care. And I said, good. He looked at me funny, and I slid my exam in the middle of all the other ones, and I walked out of the room. I said, have a good break.